You know it's hot if we're saying we're cooling down to the 80s. We did see a few lightning strikes pop up, 1 and 2 within these small cells, but those are already starting to weaken. This really shows you where the heat and the energy is associated with Florence. Tomorrow night also marks the M's opener. So we are looking at low to mid 70s right around first pitch at 7:05. Jupiter will appear brighter and bigger since it will be in opposition. So I do want to focus in on this storm, particularly close to Oak Ridge. So still seeing plenty of lightning. You probably are hearing thunder if you are in Westford or Oak Ridge. Local artists have donated these bowls, mugs, and all of those proceeds go directly back to Food for Lane County. We continue to have this high pressure system that's really going to impact us. This ridge is what's going to strengthen, and that's ultimately what's going to keep out any rain and any thunderstorms for us locally. Grass is very high. I mean, so high that it's some of the highest counts in the country right now. Noctilucent clouds. These are so cool, and it's even cooler that we actually caught these on camera. So this is what you're seeing right now, 50 miles above where we are.
Chief Meteorologist Carmen Rose.
Good evening. It's a gorgeous sunset here after a very hot day. 86 degrees. We hit 99 earlier, which shattered our previous record of 89. Now we have the southwesterly breeze here, so that shift to onshore wind is what's bringing these temperatures down a little bit. But 86, that's still 15 degrees above where we should be. So we're dealing with warmth, and we'll continue to deal with that, but not the unbearable heat. So not only did Eugene set a record for today, but so did Roseburg at 100 earlier this afternoon. That previous record was 97 from 2002. So this welcome sight is the southwesterly and westerly breeze here. So we're getting more of that cooler air moving in off the Pacific. So that's the case for the coast, also for Eugene, northwesterly for Corvallis, and also getting a little bit more of a breeze here for Roseburg. So everybody is going to start to cool down a little bit more as we head through the rest of the evening, but still going to be very mild out there. Now this heat has also triggered thunderstorms and a lot of lightning now moving out of Klamath County, concentrated into Lake as well as Harney. So lightning not welcome here, especially with those dry conditions. So we are watching for any fire starts with the amount of lightning that we're seeing right now. This will continue to die down this evening, but it's going to be slow to, or at least slower than usual, because of such high heat that we've really received across the entire state of Oregon for today. What we're watching next is this cold front. It's going to move slowly south and east and then eventually stall out over us. So it's a rather weak front. It's not going to bring a whole lot of a difference in our forecast, but it will drop temperatures down slightly into those upper 70s by the time we hit your Friday. Forecast lows for us, we're looking at low 60s once more and upper 50s along the valley and into the Umpqua Basin. So dealing with mild conditions once more overnight. Low 50s along the coast, so a little bit cooler since we dealt with those cooler temperatures earlier today, but still going to be dealing with some warmth out there. Starting out mild by the time you head out the door, closer to 7 to 8 a.m. And then we're going to see plenty of sunshine once more throughout the entire day. But temperatures, instead of the 90s and 100s, will be into the 80s. So still warm, but not unbearably hot. We'll be into those mid 60s along the coast. So going to feel a lot better toward our west. As we head into Friday, basically a repeat forecast, a few clouds early into the morning, but then going to stay mostly sunny throughout the entire day. Temperatures into the upper 70s along the valley, low 80s for Roseburg, and 60s along the coast. Your Thursday forecast, low 80s for Eugene, mid to upper 80s for Roseburg, mid 60s for Coos Bay and North Bend. So we are going to see a bit of a drop in those temperatures and then feeling even better Friday and Saturday, but we're still above average every single day this week and even into next week. Father's Day weekend is looking good, upper 70s, low 80s for Father's Day itself on Sunday. The coast mid 60s as we head through the rest of the work week, closer to 70 degrees by the time we hit Saturday and Father's Day, and then tracking more of those upper 60s, low 70s. However, no rain in sight, so that's not good. We do still need that rain. Even though we don't see a whole lot in June, we're still behind where we should be. Roseburg, mid to upper 80s, much better than 100, but still going to see 80s through the rest of the weekend and into next week as well.
All right, well, maybe, you're going to head on out for Father's Day. It's coming up this weekend, and actually I was looking at M's tickets this weekend. The historic snowfall in February. We had the disastrous flooding in April and extreme heat this month as well. And you got to wonder if events like this are going to become the new norm.
I know, that's what I've been asked quite a bit, but we do know for sure there is one weather feature, an atmospheric river. That's what really impacted us for the flooding in April. That is projected to intensify. So in this special report, I actually explored the role these rivers in our sky play in our flood risk and the Pacific Northwest climate.
The water came up just to about where I'm standing.
Andre Yazdi and Tony Wassenberg are the owners and operators at Casey's Riverside RV Park in Westford.
There were 4 RVs parked right here in the front row. So Sunday night, we were watching the water coming up, and it was coming up at a rate of about a foot per hour. So by 2 a.m., we woke everybody up and asked them to move on higher grounds.
Westford was just one of the many spots impacted by a late-season atmospheric river that brought record-breaking rainfall and widespread flooding. In early April, a well-known atmospheric river called a Pineapple Express stalled over Eugene.
An atmospheric river event will look like it originates, the tail end will look like it originates near Hawaii, or somewhere around Hawaii. And that water vapor is riding along the jet stream into us.
The abundant amount of water vapor from the tropics rises and cools as it tracks over mountain ranges on the West Coast and Pacific Northwest. It then condenses and dumps heavy rain and mountain snow across the region.
Atmospheric river events actually play a role in our climate in that we get this regular supply of water in the wintertime, and we've come to rely on that.
For the Pacific Northwest, we see the strongest atmospheric rivers November through March.
Typically, we get about 30 to 50% of our precipitation during the year during about 5 to 10 atmospheric river events.
5 to 10 events that play an extremely beneficial role in our water supply and snowpack. Strong ones like in February of '96 or late season atmospheric river in April combined with melting snowpack lead to extreme flooding. And prolonged droughts are the result of fewer or no atmospheric river events.
The U.S. West Coast will experience stronger atmospheric rivers, but also periods where there are not as many.
How we handle these extreme episodes going forward comes down to planning.
Our community isn't as prepared as they should be.
Patience Winningham is Lane County's emergency manager. It is her job to coordinate with first responders and build partnerships within the community to inform and protect the public. One thing she's learned from destructive weather events like the flooding in April.
It's them taking care of themselves, checking on your family, checking on your neighbors. Having those relationships today is the #1 most important way that people can help and give back and make sure they have a plan in place.
Planning that will make all the difference as we prepare for stronger events in the future. Now, recently, they have come up with a categorical scale, 1 to 5, that really addresses how beneficial versus hazardous these events are. So unlike the Fujita scale, enhanced Fujita scale, Saffir-Simpson, it actually takes into account, that blessing and that curse that we get from these events.
But I think that does show people, though, how weather forecasting is changing because the fact that they are looking at ways to categorize. You brought up the Fujita scale. I mean, it went from being that until, 10, 15 years ago, they changed it to the enhanced scale. So, I mean, again, always forecasters always looking for new ways to improve how this weather information gets out there and what they're looking for.
Right, and if it proves to be informative and really efficient in that, then we could start to see that scale being used in Europe as well.
All right, thanks a lot, Carmen.